Vaccination record of the dog. The dates to respect. Vaccinating your dog protects his health, but also that of humans and other pets. But care must be taken to respect the reminder dates when necessary. So as not to forget anything, the master has a health book in the name of his dog, which also serves as a vaccination book because it indicates all the vaccines already carried out and those to come. Zoom on dog vaccination point by point. What are the dog vaccines? Vaccines for dogs are numerous because these animals are likely to contract serious, sometimes fatal diseases, following contact with a sick animal, but also quite simply during a solitary walk in nature. Some pathologies are transmissible to humans. They are called zoonoses. Vaccination is therefore the best solution for the whole family to be protected and for the dog to be immunized, for a limited period or for life depending on the vaccines. This is why the reminder dates must also be observed. Vaccination protects the dog against the following diseases: rabies, distemper, Reubarth's hepatitis, kennel cough or infectious tracheobronchitis caused by the para-influenza virus, leptospirose, parvovirus, leptospirose. It is necessary to seek advice from the veterinarian because he knows perfectly which vaccines are necessary and at what age. When to vaccinate your dog. The very first vaccine can be received by the puppy from the age of 2 months, and from 3 months for the vaccine against rabies. But to guarantee the effectiveness of a vaccine, the animal must be able to benefit from the essential reminders, according to a vaccination schedule established by the veterinarian. Important dates can also be recorded in the dog's health book. The veterinarian adapts the vaccination protocol on a case-by-case basis. To do this, it takes into account of the age of the dog, of her gender, to get cold, of his state of health, of his way of life, from his daily environment, from the epidemiological situation at the regional level. It also takes into consideration the vaccination of the mother of the puppy. Thus, a dog born to a mother who has never been vaccinated, who grows up among other animals and travels a lot with his master or participates in hunting days, is much more exposed than a house dog. The only animal in the household and born to a mother whose vaccination has always been up to date. It should therefore be remembered that the vaccination schedule for a puppy is as follows. At the age of 6 to 8 weeks, or even earlier for a puppy living in a dog farm. Primary vaccination against distemper, Reubarth's hepatitis, kennel cough, leptospirosis, parvovirus and rage. You should know that the age of the first vaccination against parvovirus can be advanced if the mother of the puppy was not vaccinated. 2 months later, the primary vaccination must be followed by a booster. Then each year, vaccination is to be expected for distemper, Reubarth's hepatitis, kennel cough, leptospirosis and parvovirus. As for the vaccination of adult dogs that have never benefited from vaccines for whatever reason, the veterinarian gives 2 injections a month apart. Thereafter, these dogs should be vaccinated once a year. Special case of the vaccine against pyroplasmosis. Pyroplasmosis, also sometimes called babesiosis, is a tick-borne disease. It is particularly prevalent in certain regions of France. Also, not all dogs routinely receive the pyroplasmosis vaccine. Whatever his geographical area, the master of a dog may wish to add this vaccine to the vaccination schedule of his little companion. It should be noted that it is subject to a very specific rule, namely the respect of a sufficient period of other vaccines. Otherwise, the protocol is the same. For a first vaccination against pyroplasmosis, the dog receives 2 injections 1 month apart and then a booster every year. Vaccination of the dog. What obligation? It is important to remember here that vaccination of the dog is strongly recommended, and that the vaccine against rabies vaccination, is absolutely mandatory in the following cases. Dog belonging to Group 1 or Group 2 and therefore considered dangerous, or for all dogs without exception when they have to leave the national territory to go to Corsica, in the Dom-Tom or in a foreign country. The rabies vaccine is also compulsory when the dog or puppy has to change ownership, whether it is following a donation or an assignment, sale. In addition, the master who entrusts his dog to a kennel, a shelter or a canine boarding house must provide proof that the animal has been vaccinated against rabies, kennel cough and parvovirus. Whether he is obliged to do so by law or not, the master is responsible for the health of his little companion. He must therefore do everything possible to ensure that his dog is protected. This is why it is important to have him vaccinated even if it has a significant cost. For veterinary expenses, including vaccines, to be partially or totally reimbursed, all you have to do is take out an insurance contract with an animal health insurance company. Thanks to a dog insurance comparator, you can receive many offers very quickly. All that remains is to compare the prices but also the services in order to offer your dog health coverage that is perfectly suited to his needs.